Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm talking to you about my top 5 reads of the week of March 25th, 2022. But first, please be sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what was your favorite comic you read this week. I have quite a few great ones that I read, and like I always say in the beginning of the video, I do read a ton of comics, so bear with me if some of these are a little old. It does take me a little time to read them, even if some of them are my favorites. I tend to push them off to the side to savor them, but then I end up, saving them for a month. It's too long. So let's dive right into my top 5 reads of the week. Starting with number 5, which is Devil's Reign number 5. Okay, so as I'm going to say in my prior videos before as well, spoilers, spoiler warning, I am talking about the comics that I've been reading. So in Devil's Reign number 5 in particular, it really took a drastic turn. It's very violent, it's very exciting. Kingpin is mayor, and Kingpin has finally realized and remembered who Daredevil has been all along. It's been Matt Murdock, and he is on a revenge path to fight Matt Murdock, ultimately to kill him. And however, when he gets to Matt's apartment, Matt's twin brother Mike is there, and Mike ends up getting the beating from the Kingpin instead of Matt. And I did kind of see this one coming, because we're probably going to expect that the world and everybody in the world believes that Matt Murdock is dead, but Daredevil will still be reigning, and no one's going to know who Daredevil will be. However, to me, I feel like this is such a huge change for Daredevil, because Matt in particular, he sees the law and being a lawyer very, very important to his role as Daredevil. He sees, taking the villains all the way to their punishment through judicial presses, is the reason he is Daredevil. So the fact that now that is probably going to be eliminated from him is a really big deal. So what will Kingpin do in the last issue? We are not too sure. Will he get taken away? Will he get put in jail? I'm not too sure, but I'm really looking forward to the last issue of Devil's Reign. My number 4 read of the week had to have been Nice House on the Lake number 7. So this has been a long return since number 6, and finally get to introduce number 7. And number 7 really dives more into Walter and how and why he chose some of these people in his entire plan. And honestly, this comic is so crazy. It's very fun, and I really like that. I like the fact that sometimes you don't know what's actually going on in here. It's so, above your thinking that you're kind of just like, did that just happen? Or is this some, freaky alien thing? Or what's actually going on? But what we do know in this storyline is that Walter is not this great guy he seems he is. He tries to show these people that he chose them to save them. However, he's entrapping his past love interest alone and by herself, and she can't really do anything about it. She has to do whatever she needs to survive based off of what Walter tells her to do. So all the other people in the house get to be with each other, but she gets isolated. So it's a very conflicting situation, because you think Walter is this good guy trying to save these people, but then you also have on the other hand is he that good? Or is he the one that caused all this? Is he the one that killed all of the other people besides them, So very, very crazy. I absolutely love it. As for my number 3 read of the week, it's going to be another James Tynion, Department of Truth number 16. Now, this was a special issue. It was just a kind of supplementary issue, and it had a guest artist. Her name was Allison Sampson, and she did an incredible job. I thought it was so trippy, and it really blended in that 60s aesthetic that I really enjoyed as well. This one really emphasized on the lady in red. and we still somehow don't know that much about her, even though this was a lot about her. And it's still just like that really trippy type of comic that I kind of really like. You know, you have these really big conspiracy theories about like these LSD trips and things like that. So this issue in particular really highlighted that, and I just thought it was really fun to have that guest artist on here as well. I love having guest artists on comics because it just kind of brings their own aesthetic to this universe and this world, which I really, really appreciate. As for my number 2 read this week, it's gonna be Punisher #1. I was really surprised on how much I enjoyed this comic. I, at first, was, like most people, a little upset about the skull change. I do think, you know, we shouldn't be giving the skull to the bad people that are wearing it. You know, it was Punisher's symbol first. Why are we just allowing them to have it? However, they did a really great job blending it in and making it very natural in this issue. And I liked it. I thought Jason Aaron did a great job at writing this Punisher. And the art was fantastic. Paul Azzetta and Jesus Saez, they were really great. So this whole comic deals with Punisher now working for the Hand. And at first, you're kind of like, why would the Punisher work for the Hand? Punisher is a one-man team. However, when you really think about it, the Hand brings people back to life. And the Punisher wants nothing more than his family back. So it's kind of a match made in heaven. And when you put it in those terms, it really starts to make sense. And I really liked that. The action in this comic is brutal too, which I know we were all looking forward to in a Punisher comic, because what are you missing in a Punisher comic besides brutality? And there is some gruesome deaths in this, and I really, really liked it. I thought the Punisher was very much like himself, and it didn't shy away from being very Punisher-esque, and I really, really enjoyed it. As for my #1 read of the week, it's gonna be Saga #57. Now, Saga is a comic unlike any other to me in particular. When I read Saga, I see something beyond just a comic. Each issue is so beautifully written and drawn. It is something else. It's a masterpiece. Specifically with Saga, though, from beginning to end of each issue, there always seems to be a theme. And I love that. I love how each character, as it goes throughout, represents that same theme as well throughout the entirety of the issue. So if that character doesn't necessarily fit that theme, you're probably not going to see him in that issue. And I love that. I think it's a very poetic way to tell a story, is to have these themes, these crucial meanings, these definite answers that are willing to be solved throughout an issue, and still have, you know, these character developments, and still have all this fun moments and things like that. And I find that great. I find that fascinating. I find that so cool. And I think Saga does it better than anybody can right now. I think Saga is just, like I said, something else. It's otherworldly. We don't deserve this comic, in my opinion, because it's just that good. Frankly, Saga, every time I get it that week, I probably will read it that week. I absolutely am thrilled and excited to read it. And if you haven't read Saga, I highly recommend checking it out from the beginning. It is a fantastic read, and it is 57 issues in, but trust me when I say this, when you read it, it reads like a movie or a TV show, and it will read fast. The chapters are thick and dense, however, you will get so invested into it that you just won't be able to put it down. So that's going to be it for my top 5 reads of the week. Be sure to come back next week and see what I'm reading then. Have a great day.